I think she's a politician in the worst sense of the word, okay? And what I mean by that is there are more poor people than rich people, so she's trying to appeal to the larger group.
Okay, so that is billionaire Leon Cooperman, who is on the news every day because he's a billionaire, and so he gets to be on the news and you don't. That's the way it works, weirdly enough. And there he's attacking Elizabeth Warren, which he's been doing for some time. But really what he's attacking is progressive tax reform, effectively. He could be doing it about Bernie Sanders just as well. Bernie Sanders has an even stronger wealth tax, which we'll get into is the biggest issue for Leon Cooperman. But first, I love that first point that he makes, that oh, she's just being a politician. These progressives, they're doing what everyone always does. They've recognized that there are more poor people than rich people, so they're just giving them whatever they want. When has that ever been how American politicians act? I would argue that's still not how they act. They have always tried to appeal to the very few who have the most resources. That has been the story of American politics on both sides, both parties, for a very, very long time. That is fundamentally what bothers Leon Cooperman, the idea that a politician would dare to aim for the highest office in the land and to have no interest whatsoever in what he thinks about it. He's never experienced that before, ever in his life, and he's obviously chafing at it this first time. But to the substance of the issues with taxation, here's what he says.
But the reality is, what is the purpose of vilifying successful people that have done well for society? I don't get it. She could say that wealthy people should pay more in taxes. I happen to agree with that. They should be paying more, and they are paying more. And if they want to raise the taxes on the wealthy, that's fine. I have no problem with that. But the wealth tax is a stillborn idea.
Okay, so immediately there's an issue there where he's saying, oh, I have no problem with paying more taxes. I actually think they should pay more taxes, but a wealth tax, that is a huge issue. And that you're gonna find every time Leon Cooperman goes on TV, you're gonna find that constantly restated. I don't mind paying more taxes, but this is a non-starter. Not that the numbers are wrong or implementation needs to be talked about some more. It's that you can tax me, but don't touch my wealth ever. And he's going to have a little bit more on that. In part, he's responding to his past appearance on the news about a week ago where he broke down in tears over the idea of a wealth tax. Here he is responding to that.
Mr. Buffer will say this publicly because he has said it already. When I took the giving pledge, I told him, if you're talking to wealthy people, asking for half isn't asking for enough. And I told him I intend to give all my money away. So I'm not crying over my personal income tax liability. I'm distressed over the dialogue. Why villainize wealthy people? Bill Gates has done a lot for society. Yeah. David Rubenstein has done a lot for society. Jeff Bezos has done a lot for society. They should be complimented, not criticized. And the wealth tax makes no sense.
So that's where you go too far. It's one thing to say Bill Gates has done good for society. He has done some good for society. And I'm sure that if you looked at the other names that he listed, including Bezos, you could find some good too. But Bezos also effectively lives in a gigantic castle made of gold while his employees have to hold it in because they don't get breaks to go to the bathroom. So I'm going to hold off on the compliments just a little bit. And as we always say, if you have a lot, I'm going to judge what you give based on that. If Spider-Man stopped one mugging a year, I'm not going to applaud him on New Year's because he could have done a lot more. And when you have billions of dollars, if you do a few nice things, but you hoard your wealth while people all around you are going to bed hungry, they don't have a chance to get an education, they'll never own a home. And if you've manipulated politics in a way that you've produced that system, then sure, it's nice when you do a bit of charity, but I'm not gonna spend my day cheering for you. I'm going to hold the applause until something more significant comes along, and that something more significant is a wealth tax, because the scam that's being played here, and it's great if he wants to eventually give away a bunch of his money, but only taxing their income means that you can set the taxes effectively however you want. They will get ever richer. That's what we've seen, and that's what they're afraid of. Not paying a little bit more in taxes, but a fundamental shift that gets to the heart of it, which is their accrued wealth over one or more generations. Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.